All right. All right. Time has
There
come.
you go.
Time is now.
Floor is yours.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. All right. Let me just turn on the camera and turn on the slides and share my screen. Thanks everyone for joining my session M365 automation for company employee onboarding. I hope everyone is enjoying the conference so far, and things have improved. Since I last spoke, and now COVID has improved very much. So I wanted to touch base a little bit, but not going to take a lot of time on the COVID portion. As we are improving, I think the multiple boosters are coming. So one of my doctor customers said he has taken 4 boosters so far. I'm like, what? When did they come? He said, no, if you need, you can call and they might give you. Um, Also, on the other side of it, I heard my neighbor got COVID last week, and also I heard one of my employee in Canada got COVID. So things are improving, but still things are there to be careful. So stay safe, stay careful. Let's move on and progress our conference in the room number 4. Um, Thank you for all the sponsors for sponsoring and taking care of our organizers and organizing this conference. Moving on, this is myself, Prabhat Nigam. You can identify me and say hi if you meet me anywhere. I'm a 3 times Microsoft MVP, and after that I got so much of work I couldn't concentrate on regaining MVP. But I'm still trying to speak and share my knowledge as and where I can. I'm handling global CTO position for Golden 5. Worked for almost all IT giants, I could say: Microsoft, Accenture, Dell. What else? I've worked for almost all. HP, Compaq, just to be Compaq earlier. All right. We are a US based CSP and also reseller for US DoD and GCC High. There are only 47 partner in US, so we have one of them. Um, for US Microsoft resell for US DoD and GCC High. All right. I also run my user group as a nonprofit and used to organize a lot of user group meetings in LA, but COVID spoiled it. But I think things are improving now. So sometime later in this year, we'll go back to the Microsoft LA office and start organizing our sessions. So if you are in LA local, more than welcome. Join for knowledge or join for speaking, whatever your choice is. User group is more like a community, so that will be your community. All right, moving on to the next slide, which is my company, which is sponsoring everything. So just a quick slide there. Gordon 5, reseller, supplier. We do everything in IT, end to end. Anything you need, reach out to us. Thanks. Agenda of the day is the topic I'm touching is Neo. Um, uh, what we call our application or software name Neo, new employee onboarding tool. We what we did is we built up our UI, so we're going to talk about that. What is the ultimate solution? We're going to talk about that. Then also we go with the Neo overview, features, system requirements, Neo lifecycle. Obviously, we'll take a first look. This is the time. This is the first time this is going live to the audience outside our organization or some of our customers who already have taken a demo. That's a secret though, but now you know. So first look is coming shortly. Moving and the official timeline, what we did and how we are projecting the timeline of the launch and how can you buy it and everything. All right, why Neo is important to understand to know about this tool and find the interest in it, because that's where is the key today. How the employee onboarding and offboarding happens, and I'm not going to be pointing out one by one, but I'm going to point out overall how things works and how what can be the applications and issues and challenges today, and where things can go wrong as well. So today, if you think of it, your human resource will have a hiring system where they will be adding new recruit or new whom they want to hire. 10, 20, 30 resumes are there for one position. They're shortlisting. Then they shortlisted five of them. They add in the hiring system. Okay, now they would go for the interview process and everything, and then finalize this an employee and say, okay, this out of five, one is finalized. Okay, that's done. That's one system where they created the new staff and marked it. Okay, who got hired? These are the guys got hired. They have the list. They have the Okay, that's fine. You need that separate. Now, next, once you're hired, what happens? You have full ERP system, or you have multiple different systems, broken systems. So if you have full ERP system, you still create the user in the ERP, but may need to create the users in different places where human resource can edit. ERP may be more controlled by finance team, may not be getting the access to every team. And ERP licenses, oh my god, at least you need maybe $1,200 a year for one approval license. So it could be very, very costly if you think hundreds of users are just using for approval in organization of 10,000, 20,000, or whatever size of organization is. That licensing cost can go way high as well. So you're spending in that, or you are using another software to create a employee, or you're following the manual process. So coming on to next is approval system. So approval system, maybe you're using separate. I'm considering maybe you're using separate approval system because of the cost of the ERP licensing. Then you're probably using a manual Excel file. Okay, these are the new employees. I've seen that in one of the polytechnic, they were using a separate Excel file which used to come to their PowerShell folder, and from there they used to create the user using the PowerShell. So that's where I'm saying that and I've heard from different other customers that many of them receive some manual Excel file. This is going to be the employee name, user ID, manager, and they'll be part of these 10 groups, and they join this department. So already the fields are populated in the Excel file as a template, and somebody fills and passes it to them. So, but think about it, it's manual process. If that person who creates the user is not there, or team is not there, or they're on the break, that you are relying on a team which will be doing it. So we're trying to identifying another kind of this is how you're doing today. Then the manual process. Okay, a user has been created. Okay, the help desk team may not have the access to run the PowerShell command to create a mailbox. So there might be an exchange team or messaging team which will be creating a mailbox, right? And then moving into M65 licensing is so complicated that you may see, okay, I have 10 different kind of licenses. Which license will go to this user? Does he need a voice or not? Does he need a domestic calling plan or not? Or he needs a Visio, or what else he needs? We don't know. So maybe another team which will be doing that manual license as assignment, and that's where another manual thing. And all of these manual things can cause human errors. It is possible. We are human. We can do some mistakes. We had some bad day. We were tired or whatever. We did a wrong click, or just a fluke. We just did a click and it mistakenly clicked wrong places. That can happen. It's not everyone is perfect all the time. Everyone has some goods and bads, and something will always happen. So let's accept it that human does the error. It can happen. Human dependency. Obviously, like I said, there's somebody on a break, somebody is not well today, and he is the key person who is to run the PowerShell command to create a mailbox, and he's not in, and no one else knows. We can wait. Can we wait for another day? Yeah, but well, it's still a dependency, so we can wait. So that's many times there's no choice, so we wait for that. and then that causes some delay and due to other priorities, maybe some server is down. Should I create the user first or should I bring up the server first? Obviously a server, because the more user are depending on that application or something, so the priority changes and that delays the probably the onboarding and offboarding. Now thinking about onboarding is simplified in all these processes, or if there's a delay, probably you will not say much. If it's a very employee is joining after 2-3 days, you have time, but maybe high level vice president or any C-level person is joining very shortly, maybe just a quick notice, we got a request today, tomorrow the person is joining, now we are late. That kind of situation can occur. Now another situation can occur is offboarding. Somebody's leaving today, you want the action immediately, but the team is not there, or someone has gone home. You don't have to rely on, you have to rely heavily on the team in this kind of situation today, that manual decommissioning, manual permissions removal, manual everything. So that's what we are that's what we have been listening from our customers, and we're coming to a solution which is going to be solving this all these issues. So okay, we got a slide for the feedback, so don't forget to scan this and provide the feedback. If required, we'll come back to this feedback screen. Otherwise, you can just scan it and give the feedback. Moving on, we want to talk about G5 Power UI. So when we thought about the solution, we thought about a UI which we can control more. So we develop a UI on top of SharePoint Online that is in full control of ours. SharePoint Online license, mostly every user will have in the organization, so you don't have to spend on any licensing. It can be customized. It's definitely an alternate to Power Apps. It's more in our control versus more in Microsoft control. That's easiest. The deployment eases a lot of things where you may think, oh, I don't have to wait for Microsoft to change their policy for millions of the users just for my requirement, right? Which takes time. We raised a request with Satya Nadal to update the DLP policy. He was included actively, but still it took 1 year to implement that DLP change. But the point is that takes that long period, whereas our UI can be very fast and it's in our control. And this also allows us to more options to control, customize, and we can build on top of it more applications as you need. Maybe not this, maybe something else. But I'm sharing what is the crest of this pizza. This is the crest of this pizza. G5 Power UI. All right. Moving on, as we call this Neo, what it does is it brings simplification to any organization, and in simplifying that, it brings the human resource together so that they can manage everything from one UI, one application. They can create the user record, they can manage, modify, activate, deactivate, and change the attributes as they need it, the change of department or anything else you may need. Then once they do that, it goes to the approval level, maybe a acceptance purpose or an approval purpose. Either way any organization wants to think, it does that. So maybe from the IT side, they want to think that, okay, we want it to be approved because we want to make sure we have the laptop, headset, and other IT equipments for the new staff. Then I want to approve and say that, okay, we are ready to welcome this staff, right? And from the finance side, it could be that, I want to allocate the budget for this person. So once I have the budget, then I would like to approve it and say, yes, I'm accepting this person in our financial system. So that some approvals are obviously required in the organization for new employees, that we cover in this as well. Then we cover, once all approvals are done, then we move to the user management, group management. That is taken care of by our PowerShell agent as well, and also the second PowerShell agent assigns the licenses and creates a user mailbox or shared mailbox, whichever is required. So we cover primarily the three functions: human resource or some management, and the information technology portion as well. Um, so this what we bring to the table is the features part of this is 100% data remains in the customer's hand or your hand. User's existing security remains the same, don't have to change anything. If we don't ask to open any port, it's always outbound ports are mostly open from any server. That will remain open. Incoming we don't need, so that's we taken care. Then you can schedule the task anytime. It does the record management, does the audit trail. So don't worry about those that who deleted that. The audit trail is there. So we'll cover this. Will cover and give you that option as well to look into that and find out. Obviously, from automation side, that's most critical today as well. Looking into the problems and challenges, multi-level approval, designation-based multi-approvals, and it's important that you designation-based multiple approvals because we are not relying on one employee who has gone. If his designation moved to a new employee, that it will go to the new employee based on designation. Right, so we gave a thought there, right? We just don't want to be making a solution which is heavily relying on changes. If we're relying on what you change in the back end, we're gonna pick it. That's how we are relying on. Then user onboarding and offboarding automation. You click and approve it, active and inactive, and it will do the changes as we go. You can create, modify, or disable user from the same UI. You can assign the group membership from the same UI and modify or change any attribute you needed, maybe some custom attributes you want to use it. So this could be one place where you want to manage everything. You don't have to log into your Active Directory or Exchange server or any other PowerShell management server. Just configure it and forget it. We will send the alert, we will send every information to your email, and you just need to access your SharePoint Online. That's it. Moving on to the integration, we have the integration configured with few ERP systems and also the SharePoint, so we can integrate with some other systems where we can pull the users from there. So you may not need to create the users from the zero, but may just have to update some attributes. So that is an customization available as we need, but today we're offering you can just edit it there. We integrate with Windows Active Directory, M365 Licensing Agent, SharePoint Online List, or Azure AD. We can integrate that as well if we don't have Windows AD and you still want our solution, right? Then customization is always available to reduce the human errors and role burst access, rebranding. So anytime you want to use, it will be your logo, it will be your links and everything. It will be provision in your tenant, so it's not outside your tenant or anywhere else. System requirement. Let's quickly look into system requirement. If you see first G5 Power UI, it just needs SharePoint Online Plan 1, which probably you are already using. Don't need an extra license there. And then for configuration portion, we need a global admin access to deploy. Once we have it deployed, it's coming into your SharePoint marketplace as well, so you can just double click and deploy from there as well. Then to run it for the PowerShell agent, we need to allow the permission to that PowerShell agent. So that's typically three things you need. That's minimum configuration you can expect for any such a level of application. Then moving on to the PowerShell agent portion of system requirement. Obviously, we need a server or a computer domain joined, which has a minimum of 4 gig memory, 2 cores, and 10 gig of disk space for the logs. Our agents are not so big. It closes everything within, I think, 5 to 10 MB. But then overall, logs can grow, and how long you want to retain the logs, that will take up some space. So Then PowerShell 5.0, service account, and Exchange remote shell connectivity as well, so that we can remotely run everything from this PowerShell agent server. All right, this is where we are depicting the Neo's life cycle. You onboard the user, it goes for the approvals, then it creates the Windows 80 user accounts, then M65 mailbox gets created, and then license gets assigned. This is a simple life cycle, but if you see what all we are achieving is huge. Right now, there is no software which does all of this that I can bet and guarantee you. This is the only software which we have come up with is doing all of this together in under one umbrella. All right, we reached to the new Neo first look. This is how the UI looks. If you see, the approval system is there, and a lot of it's we're populating some attributes which will be used for licensing and everything. This is how it looks. Here your logo goes. Here your menu goes. Could be changed here. Anything which you may want. Like we come up with this that all employees are active employees or pending approvals and settings. Again, here it can be your company name and link of that. We come with about us, contact us, and privacy, which could be obviously linked to yours, or if you want to, add different links there, that could be added as well, or even change the words that there as well. So this is how the UI looks. I think I can take you to the screen where I can show you the actual UI. So be ready for the first look. I'll just stop sharing for a second. All right, so this is how our UI looks, and you can see it is searchable. I can just type and see I didn't even finish, and it got the result. So it's a fast indexing, fast search, active employees, pending approvals. It'll show who are pending, and some settings and configurations to match up in the background. And I'm handling the IT roles. I have few permissions. I don't have the permission to create a new employee. That's with the human resource. That's always the key, the role-based access, right? That's what we are covering here as well, that we're covering role-based access. So not everyone can be visible and can see everything. Oh yeah, I'm an IT person. I don't see anyone's salary. I want to know, right? My boss salary. Who everyone wants to know what's my boss salary or my peer salary. Don't you wonder any times? Sometimes, yes, but who cares? As far as we are getting what we want, right? So if I go, I don't see that. So we have role-based restrictions on things which you don't want to see, like the salary, or maybe some other things which could be your social security or everything which you want to record into one system and hide it. Now, what is happening here? It's recording in the back end of the SharePoint Online. Your SharePoint Online is already protected with different level of security, maybe a multi-factor authentication, or maybe a Azure Information Protection applied on it. So those things you can apply in the back. That doesn't relying on that, but we support that. So it is more like we don't have to change any of your security protocols or anything, but it does that. All right, so what else I want to show is probably the UI covers some important things. For example, these are the mailbox status or mailbox type. You want user mailbox or shared mailbox. All this you can configure from here, and then PowerShell agent will pick up and execute that. I want to move quickly back to my slide, and I'm going to share my screen again. Just a quick second. All right. So I hope you guys like the first look. and I hope you like the presentation so far. Neo timeline is important for you to know who are finding the interest. So we started the journey in November 2021 with that idea and thought listening after listening multiple customers, and some of the customers like, yeah, we are looking for some automation if there's a possibility, or you guys can create something in Power Apps. So we gave a thought, then we said, yeah, Power Apps is good, which can do a lot of things. Flow can work and everything can work. But there's a lot of control in Microsoft's hand, and Microsoft changes one thing today that impacts our whole application, and then we have to get together and rework on the application and make it working again. So that's where we gave a thought. We come up with a UI of our own in the December 2021, and by April we had the beta release internally. So we had tested, we fixed all the bugs and issues, and then we came up with the pre-launch, which is happening tomorrow. But there's a pre-launch demo. It's a special invite to our customers and known people who were interested in. So this is internal release, you can say. And then we have a public launch on May 16th. So more than welcome to follow our LinkedIn and just follow the link launch date, and you will see the invite there as well for a live event. You can feel free to join. Maybe you have something to win or lose, or maybe get the product, right? And then we are expecting the availability for use from May 18th, 2022. All right. Being said that, I'm open for Q&A, and also if you found the interest, rather than, I mean, you can contact me, but you can also contact our sales team and discuss your requirement and how soon you want that, and give us the time. All right. So I'm open for the questions. I'll be quickly switching back to the Teams and start answering if there's a question. If you want to connect me for more, then you have the Twitter, or connect my organization, my Twitter company's Twitter handle. Also, we are running a Facebook user group, Microsoft Technology Forum. We are trying to concentrate and come up with only one groups in every networking platform, not multiple groups. We had few, like 2 more groups we have, but we have clearly indicated if you guys can move to this group, this is one group we want to maintain and keep it big, rather than keeping separate. Then follow our YouTube channel, or you can join us on the LinkedIn. Different groups are there as well. Again, goal is that we are trying to merge it. So probably we will be looking forward to rename one of the group and merge remaining groups there. And also the user group side, we have 3 user group we are managing today, and we're trying to come up with one as well there. All right. Thank you, everyone. This is where my session ends today. But I have another session on security tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. So join me there as well. That's deep dive technical session. So if you're interested in M365 security, that'll be helpful as well. All right. So I can stop sharing from my end, and I kept some time for Q&A.
No questions in the chat, Prabhat, but very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Then I'll stay here for 15 more minutes. If anything pops up, then I'll be happy to answer, or yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks, everyone, for joining.